Stop for a second and listen. That hum in your refrigerator, the whir of a fan, the buzz of your phone. All of it is the same machine, hiding in plain sight, the electric motor. There are dozens of them within 10 feet of you right now, and every one of them spins for the same strange reason. Two invisible fields pushing on each other. Let's slice one open. An electric motor has one job: turn electric current into motion. It does it in your toothbrush and in a freight train. The biggest ones are the size of a house and pull ships across oceans. The smallest are thinner than a human hair. But peel back the casing on any of them, and you find the same two parts: a piece that holds still and a piece that spins. The interesting question is what happens in the gap between them. In 1820, a Danish scientist named Hans Christian Ørsted was giving a lecture. He ran electric current through a wire, and a compass sitting nearby twitched. That twitch changed the world. It proved that electricity and magnetism are not two separate things. Whenever current flows through a wire, it wraps that wire in an invisible magnetic field, rings of force circling the wire like ripples around a stone. No current, no field. More current, stronger field. One straight wire makes a weak field. So engineers cheat. They take that wire and wind it into a tight coil, hundreds of loops stacked together. Each loop adds its rings of force to the next, and the fields pile up into something strong. A magnet with a north pole and a south pole, just like the one on your fridge. But this magnet has a superpower. Cut the current and it switches off. Reverse the current and its poles flip. North becomes south instantly. Now we can build. Start with the part that holds still, the stator. In a simple motor, it is just two curved permanent magnets bolted to the inside of the casing. One shows its north pole inward, the other shows its south. Between them stretches a steady magnetic field, flowing silently from north to south across the empty middle of the motor. It does nothing on its own. It is the arena. It waits for something to push against. Into that arena drops the spinning part, the rotor. Picture a loop of copper wire wound around an iron core, mounted on a metal shaft that runs through the motor's center. The shaft sits on bearings, so it can spin freely with almost no friction. Feed current into that copper loop, and remember Ørsted. It becomes an electromagnet with its own north and south poles. Now we have two magnets in one small space. One fixed, one free to turn. Something has to give. You know this rule from playing with magnets. Opposite poles pull together, matching poles shove apart. Inside the motor, the rotor's north pole finds itself facing the stator's north pole. They repel. At the same moment, the stator's south pole pulls on it from the other side. Push from behind, pull from ahead. The rotor swings around its shaft, chasing alignment, north reaching for south. A force you cannot see, twisting a piece of metal you can. That twist is called torque. But here is the problem. The rotor swings half a turn, its north pole arrives at the stator's south pole, and it stops. Opposite poles are now lined up, holding each other in a happy magnetic hug. The motor locks. Physics is satisfied. We are not. We did not want half a turn. We want thousands of turns per minute for years. To get them, the motor has to break that hug at exactly the right moment. Every single half turn. Forever. The fix is a small, brilliant part called the commutator. It is a copper ring mounted on the shaft, split into two halves, one wired to each end of the rotor's coil. As the shaft spins, the two halves trade places, and that swap reverses the direction of the current through the coil. Remember the electromagnet's superpower. Reverse the current and the poles flip. The instant the rotor settles into alignment, its north suddenly becomes south. The hug becomes a shove. The spin continues. One puzzle remains. How do you feed electricity into something that never stops spinning? A fixed wire would twist itself into knots in seconds. The answer: don't attach anything, just touch. Two small blocks of carbon, called brushes, press gently against the spinning commutator, held in place by springs. Current flows from the power source through the brushes, across that sliding contact, and into the coil. The carbon slowly wears away over years, by design. Brushes are cheap. The motor is not. Put it all together and the rotor spins, 50 times a second, 100, more. Want more strength? Add more current or wind more loops of wire into the coil. Each loop adds its push. Real motors don't use one coil either. They use 3 or more, angled around the shaft like spokes, so one is always positioned for a strong shove. That is why a good motor doesn't pulse or stutter. The handoff from coil to coil is seamless. The spin feels like one smooth, continuous force. Modern motors take one more step. In your drone, your laptop fan, your electric car, there are no brushes at all. The design is flipped inside out. The permanent magnets ride on the rotor, and the coils sit still in the stator. A small chip watches the rotor's position thousands of times a second and switches the coils on and off electronically. A commutator made of silicon instead of copper. Nothing rubs, nothing wears. The same old trick performed by a computer. So run the whole chain, one more time. Current flows through a coiled wire and creates a magnetic field. The rotor becomes an electromagnet. The stator's fixed magnets push and pull on it, and the rotor swings toward alignment. Just before it locks, the commutator flips the current, the poles reverse, and the push begins again. Brushes feed power across the sliding gap, half turn after half turn. Field, force, flip, repeat. That 4-beat rhythm, thousands of times a minute, is every motor you own. The next time something hums to life in your house, you'll know what's inside. 2 magnetic fields, locked in an argument that never ends. One of them flipping its position at exactly the wrong moment, on purpose, forever. 2 centuries old, and still the quiet engine of the modern world. If this made something click, subscribe. Next time on the Cutaway, we slice open another everyday machine. Thanks for watching.